Jubilee Party in the National Assembly, the Honorable Sabina Chege.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, on the onset, I want to say that I am once very happy when I see members on the both divide happy about the budget and the allocations that have been done and distribution that has been done, Mr. Speaker. I was just reflecting on the journey that we have come as a nation, Mr. Speaker. From 1963, when we got our independence, there are three things that the founding fathers wanted to fight in this nation. That was poverty, ignorance, and disease. And very interesting, Mr. Speaker, we are still speaking the same language, addressing the same things. When you talk about ignorance, it's about our education sector. And Mr. Speaker, I want to say that I'm very happy that we are trying to address the issue of university funding, and especially the funding model, where we have many students, Mr. Speaker, who are able to join university, but they can't proceed because of the high fee. And I'm just hoping, Mr. Speaker, as majority of us in this house went through the university through HELB, Mr. Speaker, that we can be able to finally have a proper solution for HELB so that our students, once somebody is admitted in the university, automatically they qualify for HELB. And then parents don't have to worry whether their children will join or not join the university. And as they go in, then there is a way that we can be able to see how and the level where we can be able to assist the student without making it complicated, Mr. Speaker, because some of these things are so easy. I don't know why we complicate them for our students in such a way that we have very bright students who miss education because of lack of fees. Mr. Speaker, I'm also very happy that now the debate about funding the exams is done, because this is something that was being politicized by some people about exams and whether our students will be able to sit for exams or whether the parents are going to pay for them. And so from the Ministry of Education and especially from the Departmental Committee on Education, it was very important for them to address this issue of exams. And I hope, Mr. Speaker, that one day we don't have to make our exams so complex that the exams have to have special codes. They have to go to be printed out of this country, that our students have to be manned by a police officer when they are doing the exams. Surely these are young souls. I don't know why then we don't train our either teachers or the students because it's a matter of integrity, that you don't have to have the policemen. We don't have to really have even the police coming in very early in the morning guarding the exams papers. We can have a way that we can be able to have an exam that is free, and I'm happy with the new CBC that there is continuous assessment in such a way that, Mr. Speaker, we don't have to wait for the last 8 years, and a child has been in school from class 1 or even from 4, that's when we are grading, and that one exam determines the life of a student. So I'm very happy with the new system of CBC, and I am hoping that then we will minimize a lot of bureaucracy, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, a lot of times when you go to the ground, we have our elderly people, and I hope the Social Protection Unit and Department have addressed this matter. We still have our elderly persons who require social support from the government. And I know we have made steps, and very good steps, on how to finance them through the funds, and they are able to access to the money, but still majority of them are not registered, Mr. Speaker. And I hope as that age comes in, where we know somebody has gotten to the age of, if it's 70, that automatically then you are able to go, just show your ID card, and you can be able to access to this financing, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as majority of the members have talked about equalization and what goes to which sector, I'm very sure agriculture can address the issue of poverty in this nation. We have very good land. We are the equator, Mr. Speaker. I had a privilege to accompany my speaker to Brazil, and I saw the government is using not a lot of resources, but educating their farmers, having extension officers, giving them the proper seedlings, teaching them on the best practice on farming, introducing irrigation. We were in a place where it's like northeastern, but there's one river, and they have just diverted that river to the shambas, and farmers are able to farm through the help of the government, and they are doing a lot of exports. And so, Mr. Speaker, I hope that one day we would sit down and drop the politics, sit down and analyze how our nation is divided. And we can tell this crop can do well in this region, this one can do very well in this region. Go get farmers, put them together, train them, give them the proper seedlings, and I'm very sure, Mr. Speaker, that we can be able to develop. And by the fact that this budget is here today, having Honorable Atandi as the chair, and a lot of members saying he has done a good job, I am convinced now beyond any doubt that I was right in the beginning to say I'm not going to the streets. I was right, and I've been vindicated when I said I will join the current government because we don't have any other government until the next 2 years to come. And it has been proven, Mr. Speaker, that we can be able to make changes in this house. That this house has a lot of powers. We are the one who allocate the resources. So we cannot go and complain outside there. Even if we go picket, even if we go for demonstrations, at the end of the day, we have the power. And I'm very happy today that the Homa Bay people can smile and they're happy that they have a stadium. I've heard Honorable Rosa saying about the roads in a specific village in her place. And that tells us, as honorable members, once you are elected, whether you are elected with that government of the day or you're in the minority or majority side, that you have your power, you can come and lobby your members, you can come here and convince members of this house to support the area that you come from. And so not necessarily that we have to go and fight out there. And if we hold this house with dignity, Mr. Speaker, I am very sure what happened last year will not happen this year. And if we communicate well to Kenyans on what we are doing in this house, we will regain our dignity and the respect that that name we bear as honorable members actually becomes honorable. And so today, I'll sleep a very happy person to know that this house, for once, people have come together, we are reasoning together, we are working together, and I can only say long live broad-based government. Mr. Speaker, some people take peace for granted. Some people are busy inciting Kenyans against the government that is working for them, against the members of this house, but I also want to remind them that you elected that member of parliament to come and represent you. Instead of that member of parliament to come and tell you who you will elect 2027, who you should follow, and creation of some small demigods in this country, the person whom you elected should come and tell you how they sat in this house and mobilize for resources to go to their region, Mr. Speaker. And so I hope we can be able to change. And with this budget, I'll only mention one thing. We need to eliminate wasteful expenditure. The little we have, let us share. But most importantly, let us not be extravagant. Let us prioritize what is important for this nation. Let us see other areas, especially when we talk about diseases. Ministry of Health. Mr. Speaker, a lot of money comes in, not just from the government, but also from donor funding. But is this money utilized well? We have now UHC, we have now the SHA, which is the Social Health Authority. Mr. Speaker, we know there was a lot of dealings happening with NHIF. People could just sit in a corner in a hospital and write down some ID numbers, go claim from NHIF that they have treated people. But now with SHA, an OTP has to be sent to your phone for your confirmation that you as a person, you are the one who is being treated. And so the many loopholes that were there, they're no longer there. And that's why you saw the cartels in the beginning fighting SHA. But today I can comfortably say, I know and I'm a witness, SHA is working. What do? Where we are failing, whether it's on the system, we can always improve. But let us support. And most importantly then, not to forget very important people. We have our doctors, we have our nurses, we have our police officers. These people, day in, day out, even when tomorrow there's a holiday, they don't enjoy any holiday. So let us also minimize the unrest that we have within the labor. And that means then if there are any agreements that were done before, let us sit down, look at our doctors, our nurses, our teachers, our police officers, and we make sure that they also enjoy the kind of work and the sacrifices they make for this nation. And Mr. Speaker, as I thank you, I want to say I support and well done to the Budget Committee, well done to this House, and I can see there's some light at the end of the tunnel. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Jubilee Party Whip. The Honorable Mark Mwenje will now make his contributions.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. And right from the onset, I'd want to congratulate the Budget Committee, now led by the Honorable Atandi, for a job well done, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, as you're well aware, and I know we should never draw the Speaker into debates, but those of us who've been in Azimio for about 2 years, we've been in Maandamano in 2023, last year. Honorable Speaker, some of us as members of Parliament and by extension our constituencies have been punished, and I am one of those who can